One of these boxes contains a counterfeit MAC chef's knife. Yes, like that's a thing that we have to deal with. And how do we get our hands on this counterfeit knife? Well, someone purchased it from some who knows what website, realized that it was a POS, and then they decided to buy the real deal from us and then return the counterfeit MAC and expect a full refund, which they got because our customer service team is freaking awesome. But please don't be that person. Anyway, let's dive into the details and see if you can spot which is the fake. Okay, let's get started with the boxes. You can tell based off of just the different angles and in the light here that one of these just has some firmer edges, looks a little bit classier. All around is a better looking package. And if you guess this one, you are correct. That's the real deal. This is the fake. Okay, now let's pop these open so you can see what they look like. So the first thing that you're gonna notice when you open these up is that the MAC on the right here, which is the real deal, displays this nice looking sheath with the various emblems on there, the logo, things that I personally do not understand what they say. The next thing that you will notice is that the background cardboard is textured and has different colors. So let's kind of peel this back. Oh, also the counterfeit comes with this just really crappy looking, I've seen, you know, church bulletins on finer paper and better laid out than this. So there's that. So now let's look at the cardboard here in full. You can see the counterfeit is completely just flat. There's a little bit of texture to it, and this is the real deal. Another big thing that you will notice about all MACs, and I've got several others here, is that the handles are all to the right side of the packaging, where the counterfeit is to the left. I did have the little metal piece on this smaller MAC knife, but that was months ago. I got rid of it. You can see that the real deal MACs have this little metal clip, which is going to help keep the cardboard sheath snug on there, and that's mainly for while it's in shipping. And if you want to reuse this in your knife kit, you know, it's not just going to fly off and slide around. Whereas the counterfeit here just has really loose, very loose, crappy cardboard. Quick tip with the MAC. If you like to save your cardboard packaging that the knives come in, what you can do is pull this off, and then underneath this little spacer here, just put it there, and you know it's there for if you ever need it, you're moving or you're doing something where you need this to be snug and nicely packaged. There you have it. Now the real MAC has a very simple, double-sided, nicely laid out, easy to read little care card, I guess you could call it, that fits nicely underneath the knife. It's not like that. Counterfeit. Says so. It is. Okay, the knives themselves. The first thing is that right at the bolster, this is the real deal. The counterfeit is completely blade heavy. And now I say this in every video where I talk about balance. The balance of a knife does not determine its quality. That's all personal preference. But when you're comparing apples to apples here, or you think so, with the fake one, it is totally blade heavy. Now, the bolster of the fake one is probably a good 1/4 inch longer at least. And then when you get to the handle itself, the material that the fake one is made out of is really glossy, and it has almost like a burlap type of fabric woven into it. So my guess is this is made with micarta, which is a great material, but it is not the real deal. You can also tell that the fake one is a fake because of the terrible welding job at the base of the blade into the bolster. You can literally see how poor of a job it is, where this is perfectly smooth and rounded out. The MAC logo on the side of the knife, the original that I have here, is lower in the blade, and up close it is just a lot better of a quality to look at as well. Also, the font of the fake one and the blue line that separates MAC Mighty is, everything's just thicker and just messy looking. And it's the same thing on the other side of the blade. All of the markings on the fake one are just really deep and dark and just, I don't know, Sharpie marker looking, whereas the ones on the original are just delicate. They're even all throughout. It's a thinner font. And although this does say made in Japan, it doesn't even have the right steel. It has 0616 made in Japan. This is 1223 made in Japan. I can tell you that this saying that it's coming from Japan is definitely not the case. This knife probably came from China and cost the company about $7-8 to produce. That's not the case with these. Now, if you look at the very tip of the blade, you can see that the original here, the curvature at the tip comes to a finer point that has an edge that is straighter. The fake one here has a much more of a curve at the edge, which puts the tip of the knife kind of dead straight up, whereas the tip of this one is more angled this way. So it's an unfortunate reality that counterfeit knives are a thing that we have to deal with. What's interesting is that we know why they're going after MAC right now, and the reason why is because this knife became very popular recently because of the show The Bear, where they showed the chef using this knife. It's just a crappy knife. Everything about it feels crappy everywhere. I don't like it. Anyway, I think this is just one of those situations where if you're going to invest in anything, that you should buy it from a trusted source. And guess what? You can trust us here at Cutlery more. Why? Because we put Post-it notes on things that are counterfeit to make sure that they don't get mixed up. That's why. Ugh.